Yes, you made it. I'm so excited that you've chosen to get your copy of the Book of Yes. It is on its way. I can't wait to get it in your hands. It's going to be awesome for you. However, unfortunately, because it takes a few days for it to ship and actually be delivered to you, I can't get the book in your hands today. And so I wanted to shoot this video for you to literally say, you know what? Let's don't wait to start your training. Let's start your training right now. So your training, your benefits from getting your copy of the Book of Yes is going to start right now. And in this video, what I want to talk about is I want to actually start working with you right now on some things that you can do to start getting more appointments, more listings, and more income in the next 30 days. I am assuming that if you got the Book of Yes, that you got it because you want more success. You want more listings, you want more appointments, you want more sales, you want more income. And so I'm going to share with you what I have discovered to be 3 secrets that will dramatically impact your business, your ability to get more business, to get more results, more income faster than any other way. So in this video, we're going to talk about secret number 1 is how to connect with total strangers and friends, even if you're scared of rejection and even if you have no track record. Now, as you're watching this, you may be a brand new agent or you may be a seasoned agent. We're going to talk about these 3 secrets of how they'll help you regardless of whether you're brand new, just getting started, or if you've been around a long time and you're making a lot of business but want to do it better. The second secret is we're going to talk about is how to get people to say yes to you without feeling like you have to constantly be pounding them into submission. How do you get people to say yes to you without the hard close and without the BS? Without feeling like I'm having to use scripts that don't have integrity, that aren't honest, or I'm using bait and switch tactics, all of that. How do I get people to say yes to me at the appointment? How do I get them to say yes to me right now without hard closing them or BS? Because this, not only does it make you uncomfortable, but it makes them uncomfortable. And the worst part with hard closes and BS is that people find out, or once the moment is past, people tend to back away. It puts them in an adversarial relationship. It makes them have remorse, and go like, I think we made a bad decision. And that's when you get canceled appointments. That's when you get canceled listings, is because you pressured people into it, or we use BS and people don't buy it. They don't like it. And the third secret is how do you keep doing more business without getting overwhelmed or stuck on the roller coaster? And you know what roller coaster I'm talking about? That's the one where like you work because you got no business and you work and all of a sudden you get a listing and you get a buyer and you get a couple of deals going. So you're going crazy and you're busy. So you stop prospecting and then you get those deals closed and then all of a sudden, boom, I got no income again. And agents go through this roller coaster ride of I got no business. So I work, generate some business. Then I work to convert the business. And then all of a sudden I got no income. Because I converted, I got paid. Now I'm having to pay the bills from the last 2 months. And now I don't have any deals for next month. So we start freaking out and we get on that roller coaster, or we get busy because we start doing some stuff that gets people to say yes to us. They starts getting the business. And then we stop doing what was working because now we're trying to convert the stuff. And so we get overwhelmed because we got so busy that we quit generating more business. So we go from feast to famine. How do you level it out so that I've got a constant flow of business, and that flow of business is constantly getting better? So let's break down these 3 secrets. So the first secret is how to connect with total strangers and friends. And it's interesting. Some agents have a hard time connecting with total strangers. Some have a hard time connecting with their friends. Because if I talk to my friends or family or people that know me, I'm afraid I'm going to come across like I'm annoying them, or I'm going to sound desperate, or I'm going to sound like I'm, begging for business. So I'm not comfortable talking to the people that I know. And then the same people, or sometimes different people go like, well, I'm afraid of talking to people I don't know because people can be rude and they can be mean and people don't like to be hassled. And, how do I do that? And so I'm going to give you the secret to how you can connect with total strangers and with your friends too, even if you don't like rejection and even if you don't have a track record. And here it is. In fact, I'm going to do this. We're going to go to another page here. I'm going to lay out the secret. So here is the secret of how do you get people, how do you connect with people even if you don't have a track record, if you're afraid, I don't know what to say, and all this kind of stuff. Here it is, and I'm going to tell you this is the game changer. And it is simply this, to go pro. That's the first secret of how you connect with people. How do you immediately, today, How can I start getting better results today? And it's simply this: you commit. You commit that I am going to become great at this business. I'm going to become great at communicating with people. I'm going to become great at connecting with people and how to get people to say yes to me. Here's what happens when you go pro. The moment you go pro, everything changes. Just think about it. If you playing a sport, let's say you play tennis and you love tennis, but you just kind of, I have a tennis racket and I play maybe a couple of times a month, or maybe you play, just whenever you get a chance. And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm a great athlete. I love tennis. I got time. I'm going to go pro. I want to start playing tennis and winning tournaments, and I'm going to go pro at it. Now, how long would it take you to start getting better at tennis? Answer: immediately. Because all of a sudden now everything changes in terms of the intensity, the commitment. I got serious about it, and boom, now what are you doing? I'm practicing every single day. What am I doing? I'm finding a coach. I'm getting training. I'm practicing. I'm looking at schedules. I'm watching videos. I'm doing everything it takes to get great at it, because now there's so much more at stake than there was when I was just being an amateur, when I was just doing it for fun. Now it's serious. And most real estate agents, they approach real estate almost like it's a hobby. And that is, they show up and they'll go like, yeah, well, and they just want to go out and play, but they don't want to prepare for greatness. The moment you decide to go pro, everything changes. And so it changes in your daily execution. So here's the thing. As soon as you get the Book of Yes, here's what I want you to commit to do. In fact, I want you to commit to doing it today. And that is that you're going to start training and do what a pro would do. And that is, a pro is going to train 1 to 2 hours a day, every single day. That's what a pro does. Now, a pro athlete is going to train 4, 6, 8 hours a day. A professional musician, a performer, any kind of a dancer, they're going to train hours and hours a day for maybe 1 or 2 performances a month. And sometimes, like the Olympics, they'll train for hours and hours every day, month after month after month, year after year, for one event in 4 years. That's dedication. But when they make that high level commitment, all of a sudden they get better because they're totally serious. And guess what happens? Everybody can tell. Now, you're a real estate agent, and the moment you go pro, everybody can tell. Your friends can tell, your family can tell. Why? Because all of a sudden you got passionate, you got committed. And guess who else can tell? Strangers. When you talk to a for sale by owner, or you talk to an expired listing, they can tell the difference between a pro and an amateur. Why? Because an amateur is kind of like worried about rejection. But a pro is like, whatever it takes, I will get your house sold. Well, have you ever sold a home in my neighborhood or in my price range before? You know what? I haven't, but can I tell you the good news? I sell every listing that I take. I know exactly what to do to sell yours. I will sell it fast for top dollar, and I will do whatever it takes to do that, and I guarantee it. You see, just the look in your eye changes, the intensity changes, and that is what people need to see from you. They need to see that if I hire you, I'm not making a mistake. So it starts with this commitment that I am going to, if you want to connect with people, they gotta know as a real estate agent that you're serious. You go pro. This is not an industry for amateurs, and yet it is an industry that is full of amateurs. The moment you decide to go pro, the way you look at yourself changes, and the way everybody else looks at you will change. And I'm telling you, it does not even matter. Even if you don't have a track record, just that confidence will go through the roof, and everything changes. Top secret number 2, how do you get more listings, more income in the next 30 days? Here's how you do it. You learn how to get people to say yes to you without the hard close or the BS. Now, how do I get people to do that? And so here's the second. The second secret is, how do I get people to want to hire me, to want to give me an appointment, to want to list their home with me, without having to just like pound them and close, A, B, C, always be closing, like I'm twisting their arm. And how do I do that? Here's how you do it. You communicate confidence. Now, understand, this grows right out of number 1, right? I go pro, so all of a sudden I'm working at a different level. I'm committed at a different level. My intensity goes up. Everything goes up. And so my confidence is going to go up like that. Now, as I'm training 1 to 2 hours every day, you're getting better every day. And here's what I want you to know, and that is that it doesn't take 2 years of experience to get good in real estate. Now, granted, 2 years of experience is better than 2 months of experience. However, there's a lot of agents that have been in the business for 2 years and they don't have 2 years of experience because they don't really work with the intensity of a pro every day. That you can reach levels of mastery in a month. In 2 months. I've had agents that join my coaching. They've taken the listing presentation out of this thing and they've memorized it in the first 30 days. In fact, people that have taken my 100-day List Master Challenge, one of the assignments they have week number 2 is they have to memorize, in 1 week, they have to memorize the entire listing presentation. Boom, it's done. They've memorized it. And then the rest of the challenge, the rest of the 100 days, we're literally working on perfecting their delivery of it so they get good at it. Well, you can do that fast. You don't have to do it slow. You can do it fast when you're training like that. And then as I get better at it, I can communicate confidence. Now, confidence comes from 3 things for you as a real estate agent. Number 1, confidence comes from caring. And that is, I care about the people. I care about my prospects. I care about my clients. And when people can tell when you care about them, because when you care about them, guess what they feel about you? They feel confidence. And I want to communicate confidence to them so you can get more appointments, more listings. If they feel like you care about them, they intuitively know you're going to do a better job because you care. So number 1, you got to care about them. Number 2 is courage. Look, I get it. When you go in, I'm still shaking, right? I never got to a point when I went to a listing appointment that it was like I wasn't nervous. I was always nervous. As a real estate coach, when I get up on stage to speak to people, I get on coaching, I'm still nervous. But I'm nervous because I know it's important. And when you're nervous, you doesn't mean you don't do it. You go forward with courage. And that simply means that you're willing to act and step into the fear. And as you step into it, you're intense, you're focused, you're alive. All the hormones, all the energy, all the body chemistry is all coming together. When you're nervous, those butterflies, that's literally physically your body responding by giving you chemical help to make you you're sharper, you're more aware, you're more attuned, you're more attentive. All of that happens. So courage, you're taking the action even though you may be a little bit afraid. And then the third key to communicating confidence is competence, and that is that you know what you are doing. There is nothing more powerful than right here, that cocktail of confidence. This is what I call the confidence cocktail. And that is that you care, that you're courageous enough to step into your fear and step into those conversations even when you're nervous, and that you get great at doing what is required, that I know what to do. And the more by going pro and training, and I'm intense, I'm focused, I'm studying, you get the book of Yes, I want you studying this book. I want you in it. Not just learning the scripts, but learning the psychology of it, learning the communication skills, understanding how you lead people to decisions, and all of that. All of that is going to help you get to this level fast. And I think the real key here of going pro is that it accelerates your journey towards success. Does that make sense? Are you following me? I mean, this right here, this one thing, it doesn't take age, it doesn't take years of experience, it doesn't take market knowledge, it doesn't take knowing a lot of people. Because you can do all of this internally. Okay? Secret number 1 is the way you connect is you go pro. People can tell by the intensity, you start training, so now I can communicate confidence. And whenever you communicate this, what happens is that people, when you're talking to them, people feel safe. You understand what that means? I'm a seller. I've got a $1 million house to sell. It's my most valuable asset. And you're asking me to trust you to sell it. Well, if I don't feel safe with you, I'm not going to hire you. But the moment that I feel safe with you, that I'm like, you know what? If I let this agent handle it, I'm in good hands. Because they care, because they do what they say they're going to do, they show up, that courage just kind of shows up, and they know what they're doing. I feel safe. The moment they feel safe, boom, they're going to hire you. That all comes through your ability to communicate confidence. And you're getting that because you've gone pro and you're doing the work to learn. What do I need to know to be able to master this? What do I need to be able to do to do the best job for somebody? Which then leads us to the third secret of getting more appointments, more listings, and more income in the next 30 days is how do you keep doing more business without getting overwhelmed or stuck on a roller coaster? Because when you start showing up this way, when you go pro and you're communicating confidence, guess what? You're going to get more yeses. You're going to get more listings, so you're going to get busier. How do you keep from getting overwhelmed? And here is the key, and that is you focus on one thing, and that is you focus on what delivers results. That's what you focus on. Does that look like results? That's what you focus on. You focus on results. If you want to get business and get lots of it and be able to sustain it, focus on what do I have to do to deliver the best results. If I've got a seller, and here's what's crazy to me. In fact, I was talking to a coaching member, one of my coaching members, and they were talking about a listing appointment that they were getting ready to go on. And one of the objections that the seller had was, your office is not in my neighborhood. Your office is not in my town. You're a couple of towns away. And they're going like, I want a local agent. And she goes like, look, can I tell you the good news? It doesn't matter what town it's in. I know how to deliver the best results. And the best results are what you want, right? And the seller goes like, yeah, but look, I've got a park right across the street from me, or right here that's a famous park, and everybody comes, do you even know about that park? And the agent that I was coaching, she was going like, I don't even know about the park. And then I asked her this question. I said, so let me ask you this. Is your knowledge of that park important to help you be able to actually sell that house? In other words, if you didn't have a clue about that park, do you know how to get that house marketed and sold for top dollar? She goes like, absolutely. So your knowledge about the park really doesn't have anything to do about selling that house. And she goes like, no, but the seller thinks it's important. And I'm like, right. But my question is not what the seller thinks. I'm talking about focusing on the result. Does it get a better result for the seller whether you know about a park or not? And the answer is no. Buyers don't look at the listing agent and go like, well, tell me about the area. They don't do that anymore. The world has changed. Technology has changed. Buyers are way more sophisticated. They've got access to they're doing all their research, and they're doing it online. They're getting out and they're driving around. They're not looking to the listing agent to say, okay, sell me this property by telling me about the great schools and the great parks and all that kind of stuff. Now look, does market knowledge help? Market knowledge helps give you credibility, but does it give you results? And here was the drawback. Here was the problem, is she had spent a couple of hours researching the area. Because she said, this agent, this seller, they want to know about it and all this. And here's the deal. If it doesn't help you deliver a better result for them, why would you spend 2 hours doing it? Well, so they trust me. Look, you can get good enough that you don't have to spend 2 hours researching trivial aspects that don't really have anything to do with selling a house. And you simply have the confidence when you can communicate confidence and say, I hear what you're saying. I know that seems important. However, it just doesn't work that way. The way buyers buy today and make decisions today, they do not come to the listing agent for information about the community, the neighborhood. They don't do that. They go on their own. They're looking for it that way. And that's just the way it goes. Here's the other thing, is we get caught up in trying to nurture and trying to follow up with everybody. And if you don't know who to follow up with, then we end up spending a whole day, and you've done this, you've spent a ton of time, if you've been around for a while, you've done like I've done, and that is we get stuck, and I'm spending a lot of time trying to pedal fast, and I'm doing all kinds of stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I spent all this time with that person, and they weren't even qualified. I spent all this time jumping through hoops for this person, and they weren't even, motivated to buy. And we're focused on trying to just do whatever people are demanding of us instead of focusing on the thing that will actually give us the results and mastering that. And as we figure out what gives us results, then we're able to take, and the next step is, then we start leveraging our time by developing systems, by implementing great systems and processes so that I can use people and processes to help me get more done in less time. But the biggest thing is learning to focus on the things that put points on the scoreboard. Because so much of the things that we do as real estate agents is we get overwhelmed because we're focusing and spending a lot of time answering a lot of different demands, or getting distracted by this and distracted by this, or doing this because somebody asked us to do it, when it really doesn't does not contribute to our ability to deliver better results in our business or for our clients. And so it's learning how to dial in on, is this going to make a difference in getting me a better result? Is it going to get me a result as an agent in my business? Is this going to get a better result for my client? Or am I just trying to appease somebody else's expectations? Because when we spend so much time trying to appease their expectations, when what they really want is they just want the result. I'm going to tell you this, and I know this is something that agents will argue with me on this, that I coached. They'll argue, and I finally go, just try it. And they try it and they go like, I cannot believe it. And here's what they do. They come up with these really elaborate marketing plans they're going to do, and it takes so much time for them to do all this fancy marketing stuff. And I go like, so does that marketing that you're going to spend all this time on, does that actually matter in selling the house? Well, no, but that's what the sellers want. No, the sellers don't want all this elaborate stuff. They want the best result. They just don't know how to get the best result, so they're telling you their expectations based on their perception, not on reality. And when you can dial in on what matters, one, I'm going to work with better people that are ready to actually buy or sell. So I'm going to be working with people that I can actually get a result with because I pre-qualified them, and I know they're ready, they know they're ready, and they know I'm going to do the right thing to help them get the result. Instead of bouncing around, going everywhere, doing everything everybody wants me to do that's not actually putting points on the scoreboard for them or for my business. Okay, so these secrets right here are absolutely indispensable when it comes to how do you get more income, more listings, more appointments, more listings, and more income in the next 30 days. Is learning how do I connect with people. And the way you connect with people is by going pro, by committing to getting great at this. I train. You'll get so much better with what to say and how to say it in just a matter of days, just by the commitment. Because somebody goes like, well, how long have you been selling real estate? And you're like, well, I'm brand new. Well, I don't want to work with somebody that's brand new. Well, look, there is nobody out there more hungry than me. And I promise you, I will do whatever it takes to get you the result. I've got a mentor, I've got my broker, I've got a coach, I've got this. I am committed. I will do whatever it takes. Just that level of commitment will help you connect better with people that you've never met before, and your friends that go like, yeah, we'll see. They'll know the difference. And here, look, they'll give you business. They'll refer people to you because they see how serious you are. When you go pro, everything changes. When you master how to get yes without the BS, whenever you just do that by communicating confidence, by caring, by being courageous, and by being competent, knowing how to deliver results, everything changes. And when you just focus on, is this really matter, or am I just trying to please someone else's expectations? We spend so much time doing things that do not matter. Now, I hope this has been helpful for you. Has this been helpful? Is this really what I want? In fact, my whole mission in my business, everything I do as a coach, is I want to help people succeed. And my commitment is to your success. That's the reason I wanted to get this in your hands for free. Is I just wanted to do everything I can to help you. I want to do this video so that I can help you once you get this in your hand, that you'll know what to do. In fact, even before this comes, that you actually know what to do. Because the one question that I always am asking myself, and I've been asking myself this year, is how can I help realtors succeed at a higher level? We are in one of the best markets. The market has been on a tear for the last 7 or 8 years, just a sustained economic growth. The housing market has continued to improve, and yet still 70% of new agents are failing in their first year. 80% of agents are out within 2 or 3 years. And I'm like, what can I do to help agents get better? And I thought, if I could help agents, what would make agents succeed at a higher level? And I thought, maybe if it's money, if I could just help them make more money, they would do it. And yet I look back when I started real estate, and my 3rd year, I got a coach. I did 42 deals 1 year, and then I got a coach, and I went from 42 deals. I started building a team. We did 108 deals in my 3rd year in real estate. I mean, it was like boom, and my income just shot through the roof. And then I got a divorce, and my life fell apart. And I was making money, but I was hating my life, and I'd hurt a lot of people, and it was devastating for my children, and it was just horrible. And I'm like, so it's not just about helping agents make more money, because I had a coach help me make more money, but I want people to not only make more money, but also to be able to have a life. And so as I thought about it, I thought, what would be something that any agent, if this happened, it would be good for them, this would help them. And here's what I came up with. Is simply this. If I could help agents add $100,000 or more to their income in a year, would that be helpful? Well, if it's just the money and their life falls apart, no, it's not. So it needs to be at $100,000 per year plus having a life that they love. I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to help agents increase their income. And if I take any agent, and think about it, if you could add $100,000 to your business this year, if you could get a $100,000 raise, would that change your life? And if you could do it while having a life. And so that has become just something I'm totally passionate about, is my mission is to help real estate agents double their income by at least $100,000 a year while having a life that they love.